Hey there, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about some basics for Google Classroom that you could be looking for when you see your teachers' classrooms. And one is we want to keep the stream as clear as possible. So we want to be sure that the teachers have turned off the stream. So you can do that here. See where it says hide notifications? That way, everything a teacher posts isn't going to the stream, and your students aren't being trained to use the stream. They're being trained to use the organizational strategy. Teachers can also decide in the same general area if they want students to be allowed to post and comment. So maybe an upper grade class might want the students to be able to ask some questions there, or maybe they just want them to be able to comment on something that a teacher posts. But you can also decide to say that only teachers can post or only teachers can comment. So again, that's up to the teachers, but you guys are all responsible adults. So we did allow you to post and comment on the stream in our Google Classroom. So keeping the stream clear and having it turned off to notifications is very important. The stream is the place where the teacher could share an announcement with their staff. Not with their staff, with their students. You guys might share with your staff. But you really want to stress not to do that too much. Don't overwhelm students with posts every day, because we've created a protocol that will make using the classroom easier as long as the teachers follow it. And they shouldn't need to be posting a lot here in the stream. We want to keep that as clear as possible. So you have noticed, hopefully, in your Google Classroom that you're working in today, that there are 3 sections. And we want these 3 sections to be the same for each teacher in the entire district, grades that are using it 2 to 12. So the first tab they'll have is information. And the first item under information is campus-wide announcements. Now, I prefer to have those in as a slide. Now, perhaps you, as the administrator, share a s'more with your whole school to send out announcements, or you do a monthly newsletter. Anything that you do, whether it's a video or a s'more or just bulleted announcements, the teacher can share in the slide. The reason slides is effective is you can keep adding to it without adding more posts. We don't want to have campus-wide announcements and then have 10 of those, because all of a sudden your assignments are down on the bottom. So this is one feature that Dr. Walker did well when we were doing digital dogs. He did a lot of things well, but this was a good thing, was he had an ongoing slideshow where each day the newest slideshow, the newest slide and video from him was at the top. So the thing about your slides is you can have add things and decide the order. You could do the same thing in a Google Doc, but we just recommend that your teachers, or you may decide as a campus, decide what kind of document is going to go here, where all of your students across your whole school can know that this is a place I can always go to for important information about Miss May Vernon Elementary School or Herndon Elementary School. So it's important to just have that one place where they can post any of that important things. And then the Google Meet calendar, that's going to be a little bit more personal for the teacher, depending on what they want, what they need to share out, if they have, a math section or a social studies section. So this is really just a sample, but I had put the days of the class meetups and the times that I would have them, and then a place where they could click here to see the calendar and find where the Google Meetups were. So having those sections are important, and my calendar is pretty crazy, so y'all don't want to see that. So that's the very first section: information, campus-wide announcements, where can I find when I can meet with my teacher online. The second one that we want to have is additional resources. Now, these are resources that the teacher isn't necessarily using for the lesson that week, but something that students would need to go back to over and over. So again, because I'm a slides girl, I created a Google slide that showed a place to put tools. So say as an elementary teacher, I wanted my kids to be able to use Flipgrid, and I wanted my kids to be able to go to Khan Academy for extra practice. Well, I could add some tutorials here for Flipgrid, how to use it, and I could add a tutorial on how to get to Khan Academy. I could also add links for websites where they could practice those things that you find students are asking you over and over. You could add those here. So by, again, using a slideshow, you could have different topics for what information you have added here. And by the time you see this, these will be populated, but I wanted to get the videos in. And the last thing, which is what we really encouraged our teachers to do during Digital Dogs, is that we do want all of them to have titled by week 1 and have their week 1 agenda. This will be a 1-page document that is just an overview of the week. It won't have to necessarily have the hyperlinks or anything, but a parent or student can look at it and say, this is what I need to do for the week. And the second part is having the assignment, which is where you found what you're working on right now. Now, we do want teachers using this format, whether they are in person or virtual. That way, if we need to make the quick switch, everything's there and organized. You can move your tabs. We don't want to move that one. But so when you put in week 2, you want that to be up above so that the students can always see the most current work first. So that's an important thing to be looking at. The other thing that we have streamlined in the protocols, which you will get a copy of, is the naming convention of the classroom. So the first part is going to be the teacher's name. And then the second part is the class that it is. So I put admin because this class is for you guys, as compared to it's not for teachers. So what class is it? Or what, and then you can add the class period. But these things are written down. Cody's done a really good job of creating a booklet that the teachers will have. But those are the things that we need to see the same in all the classrooms across the district. So this is a time where you can have some autonomy as to what you do in this section, as long as you don't want to see 10 posts for a week. As you can probably know, that would get overwhelming to a student. So teachers need to really think about how they post things. And of course, we're going to be going over that with them in their training. So those are some basics that you will know to be looking for that we should see in all the Google Classrooms.